Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Magda K. I'm an intimacy expert, tantra teacher, and relationships coach. And today we are diving into something that I know so many of you have been curious about, maybe even frustrated by. We're talking about ejaculation control. Specifically, I want to share with you one big don't, the thing that is silently sabotaging most men, and then 3 very practical, very doable do's that will actually create a shift in your body. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to understand this topic in a way you probably never have before. So let me start with a little bit of context because I think it matters. I've been teaching men how to master their sexual energy, how to work with their arousal instead of against it, and how to experience pleasure on a completely different level for almost 10 years now. And in that time, I've seen this space change dramatically. When I first started teaching this, most men were genuinely shocked to discover that it was even possible to have an orgasm without ejaculation. The idea that these 2 things, orgasm and ejaculation, are actually separate events in the body, that you could have one without the other, that was mind-blowing to most people. And that's beautiful because it means awareness is growing. But here's what I've also noticed, and this is something that concerns me a little. The more popular a topic becomes, the more it gets simplified. The more it gets packaged into quick tips and 5-second reels. And when that happens, the depth gets lost, the nuance disappears, and men are left with fragments of information that kind of make sense, but don't actually work when they try to apply them. So they try, they don't get results, and they either think the whole concept is overhyped, and this is the one that breaks my heart, they think something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. You are just missing a few critical pieces of information. That's exactly why I made this video, because I want to give you the real version of this. Not the watered down, commercialized 3-second tip version, the actual embodied, this will change your experience version. So let's get into it. The one big don't, I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about what happens in your body when you normally reach the point of ejaculation. Not conceptually, actually bring your awareness there. What are your muscles doing? What is your breath doing? What is happening in your jaw, your belly, your pelvic area? If you pay attention, the pattern is almost universal. Your muscles tense, your whole body contracts, your breath either speeds up dramatically, short, fast, shallow, or you hold it completely, everything grips, everything tightens, and that tension, that full body contraction is what amplifies the sensation and pushes you over the edge. And it feels good, right? Of course it does. That tension creates intensity. That's why your body learned to do it. But here's where most men get stuck when they try to delay or prevent ejaculation. They know they need to do something different. They try to think about something unsexy. They try to distract themselves. They try to squeeze something or breathe a certain way, but they don't address the core pattern, which is the tension itself, the actual opposite of what your body is doing when it rushes toward ejaculation is relaxation. Full, conscious, intentional relaxation. And almost nobody is talking about this. Almost every piece of content I see on this topic focuses on techniques, squeeze here, breathe this way, do this thing, without addressing the foundational reality, which is that your body needs to unlearn the tension response before any technique will work consistently. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Magda, just relax. Great advice. And I want to acknowledge something here. Telling you to relax is almost useless on its own. It works about as well as telling a woman to calm down when she's in the middle of an emotional moment, which is to say it doesn't work at all, because this isn't about willpower. This isn't about deciding to relax. This is about years, possibly decades, of deeply ingrained physical conditioning. Think about how many times you have ejaculated in your life. Every single time your body ran the same program, tense the muscles, speed up or hold the breath, contract everything, release. You have repeated that sequence hundreds, maybe thousands of times, Your nervous system has encoded it. It's not a thought anymore, it's a reflex. And there's another layer to this that doesn't get talked about enough. The conditioning goes back further than you might realize. For most men, the very first experiences of sexual pleasure happened in secret. In your childhood bedroom, maybe, or a friend's house, or anywhere that felt private and somewhat risky, and there was urgency. There was pressure, there was the constant background anxiety of someone might walk in. So what did your body learn? Finish fast, get there quickly. Don't linger, don't slow down, don't breathe too loud. Get it done. That urgency, that physical and emotional rush became associated with arousal itself. Tev, and your nervous system carried that pattern forward into your adult life, even when the circumstances changed completely. Even when there's no one who might walk in, even when you have all the time in the world, the old pattern runs anyway, because that's what patterns do. So we're not just working with a technique here, we're working with your history. We're working with your body's deepest learned responses. And that requires something more than just a tip. It requires practice. It requires gentleness with yourself, and it requires the right approach, which brings me to the 3 do's. The first do, relax your pelvic floor rather than trying to relax your entire body all at once, which is overwhelming and nearly impossible in the middle of sex. I want you to narrow your focus to one specific area, your pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor is the group of muscles that forms the base of your pelvis. Think about the muscles you would use to stop yourself midstream while urinating. Think about your anus, your perineum, that space between your anus and your genitals and your sitting bones. All of that together is your pelvic floor. You don't need to memorize the anatomy. You just need to be able to feel it. Let me guide you through this right now. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Drop your awareness down into your pelvic area. Focus on your anus or on the muscles you'd engage to stop urination, or just on that whole lower basin of your body. Now tense those muscles, contract them deliberately, really squeeze. Hold that for a moment. Feel where the tension is. Notice how it radiates outward, and now let it go. Completely consciously release. Let those muscles go soft and open. Let's do it one more time. Contract, hold, and release. Let go. When you relax your pelvic floor, something remarkable happens. Your genitals relax. The sexual energy that was building and intensifying in that concentrated area begins to soften and spread. And as that happens, the rest of your body naturally follows. The tension begins to dissolve outward from that central point. This is a skill, and like every skill, it gets easier with practice. Start practicing this awareness outside of sex. Notice when you're holding tension in your pelvic floor during your normal day, while sitting at your desk, while driving, while stressed. Most people carry chronic tension there without realizing it. The simple act of noticing and releasing it regularly will begin to rewire your body's default patterns. The second, though, belly breathing. Breath is one of the most powerful tools we have for regulating our nervous system. But most of us, especially during moments of intensity or arousal, breathe in exactly the wrong way. We breathe high in the chest, short, tight, fast, and that kind of breathing signals to your nervous system that you're in a state of urgency or threat. It activates the accelerator. It pushes you forward. Belly breathing does the opposite. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest, relaxation, and regulated pleasure. It slows everything down in the most beautiful way. Here's how to feel the difference right now. Place both hands on your lower belly, just below your navel. When you inhale, I want you to breathe into your hands, push them outward, make your belly expand like a balloon. Really push those hands away from your body as you breathe in. Now when you exhale, let your hands gently press back inward. Let the belly fall. Use your palms to guide that movement. Let's do it together. Inhale, push those hands out, belly expanding, lower belly filling with air. And exhale, hands pressing gently in, belly drawing back toward the spine. Again, inhale, expanding, pushing outward. Exhale, releasing, drawing in. One more. Inhale and exhale. Notice how you feel. That slight softening, that quality of settling, that's your nervous system responding to the signal that everything is okay, that there's no rush, that you can be here. Now, during sex, you obviously won't be holding your hands on your belly, but you can drop your awareness there. You can consciously breathe into that space. Even a few belly breaths in the middle of an intimate moment can completely shift the trajectory of where your arousal is heading. It gives you a moment of choice instead of a one-way ride. The third do, make sound. I know. For many men, this one feels the most awkward. We live in a culture that has somehow decided that moaning during sex is exclusively a feminine thing, that men should be quiet, that sound equals vulnerability or performance or something uncomfortable. But I want to offer you a completely different way of thinking about this. Sound is one of the most direct pathways to releasing tension from the body. When you make sound, even a simple sigh, you open the throat, you release the jaw, you let something out rather than holding everything in. And the throat is energetically and physically connected to your entire lower body, including your genitals. There is a nerve, the vagus nerve, that runs all the way from your throat down through your chest, your belly, and into your pelvic region. When you open the throat with sound, you are literally activating a pathway that allows energy to move through your body rather than building up and exploding out of one single point. Sound moves energy upward and outward through your whole system instead of letting it concentrate and blast through in the most direct route it knows. Now, if full moaning feels too far outside your comfort zone right now, that's completely fine. You don't need to start there. You can start with something as simple as a sigh on the exhale. Let me show you what I mean. Let's do 3 breaths together right now. Inhale through your nose and exhale with a soft, open sigh. Ah, again. Inhale and exhale. Ah, one more time. Inhale and exhale. Ah, do you feel the difference between breathing out silently and breathing out with that small sound? The sound creates an opening, a softness, a release that silence doesn't quite access. As you get more comfortable with this, you can let the sound get a little louder, a little more natural. You can let it arise authentically rather than being performed. And over time, it becomes one of the most powerful and natural tools you have for staying present, staying relaxed, and staying in control. So there you have it, one big don't. Stop relying on tension to manage your arousal, because tension is exactly what's driving ejaculation forward. And 3 do's. Relax your pelvic floor, breathe with your belly, and open your throat with sound. These aren't complicated, they don't require special equipment or a perfect environment. They require practice, presence, and a willingness to learn a new pattern in your body. And I promise you, when these 3 things come together, something shifts. Something that probably hasn't shifted with any tip or technique you've tried before. Now, if you want to go deeper, if you want a complete step-by-step process that takes you all the way from where you are now to genuine mastery over your sexual energy, I want to tell you about my program, Sexual Mastery. This is a 6-step journey that I've developed over nearly a decade of working with men privately and in group programs. And it covers everything: how to build real ejaculation control, how to separate orgasm from ejaculation so you can experience pleasure without the refractory period, how to spread your sexual energy through your entire body, and how to open yourself to full body and even multiple orgasms. And it's not just theory, everything is practical. Everything is guided. You will know exactly what to do and in what order. Hundreds of men have gone through this process. I've even guided some of my personal partners through it. And what I can tell you with complete certainty is it works. Not as a concept, not as a possibility, as a lived, embodied experience that changes the way you relate to your own body and to intimacy altogether. The link is below this video. It's magdek.com/mastery. Click it, read more about what's inside, and when you're ready, I'll be there to walk you through every step. Loves, I genuinely hope this video gave you something real today. Not just information, but an actual shift in how you understand what's happening in your body and what's possible for you. If this resonated, please give it a like. It's the best way to let me know what kind of content to keep creating for you. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do. I share new videos every week, and there is so much more I want to share with you. Thank you so much for being here, for being curious, for being willing to look at this part of your life with openness and intention. That already puts you ahead of most. I'll see you in the next one.